Hello, 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 kids. This is our Final Cut Pro vocab part 2. After we go over part 2, we are going to be ready to take our test. So let's pay attention and learn something about nonlinear editing software. Our first term is called downstream. Refers to clips to the right of the current clip in the timeline. When you perform actions that ripple the project, downstream clips are affected, upstream clips are not. So here is an example. You can check it in the lower window here. The clip is deleted and you see the ripple. You see the downstream effect. Let's edit undo, do it again. See the downstream effect with the delete. You got to make sure if you line some things up and you make a change, it will affect the downstream of your project. Editing tools. There are 7 editing tools which you can choose from to work on your timeline. The select, the trim, position, range, blade, zoom, and hand tool. Learning how to use each tool takes time in the editing process. You will be between the range select and the blade tool and position tool most of the time. Edit points. Edit points are the beginning or start points and the end points of your clips. And so you can use the command arrows to bounce around the start and end points of clips to jump around your project, as you can see here. Moving on, we look at event. We've gone over this before. We've created events. Events are found in the upper left sidebar, and they are different than projects. Events are where you import your video, your audio, your still images. Those are where the media sources are. So you can use footage in all different types of events for individual projects. Our next term is markers. They kind of flag a specific location. All you got to hit is M, and you can knock a certain point on the timeline, knock a certain point on the audio for you to come back to. Just little reminder marks. Just for task management type reasons. Opacity is the level of a clip's transparency. So you can play with the opacity of the clip, and you can see whatever is layered behind it or on top of it. There's an opacity slider where you can see the percentages, and you can play and adjust the opacity. Our next term is the range tool, or just range. It kind of sets your in and out points. So you can go to the range tool right here, and you can see that I've set my in and out points, and then I can adjust the edges and make cuts if needed. I can do it inside the browser or the timeline, where you're just kind of setting your in point, setting your out point. If you do not want the whole clip, you're just selecting the piece that you want. That is your range tool. The next term is the rough cut, also known as the rough edit. And let me go in and find a project that is still in rough cut status. So here I have some drone footage where I've gone through that first pass through my drone footage, grabbing and selecting things and favoriting things that I thought was the best footage. That is called a rough cut. When the snapping feature is used in Final Cut Pro, the clip snaps into place. It won't go exactly where you let it down. It'll snap to the closest point. When you turn it off, it'll just sit directly in the certain point that you'd like it to, or it snaps into place just by using the snapping tool. Our next 2 terms are timeline, which is the bottom part here where the playhead is, where I'm sifting around. And here we go, going through the timeline where we build our project. And then our next term after that would be the value slider. And so if I go up into the value slider, I can change how large the clips are, from down to under a second per thumbnail or per representation to just the whole clip itself. And that's very valuable to be able to slide between the different perspectives and different looks for your editing. And last but certainly not least is the watermark. It's a visible graphic or text overlay applied to an image or video clip to indicate that it's protected by a copyright. So this is kind of like our fake watermark here. This is us doing our lower thirds DTV watermark. We bring in our graphic, we shrink it, we put it in the corner, and that's our little watermark, just to say we made it. We don't really own the rights to it. That's, of course, the school kind of owns the rights to all this stuff. And these are our Final Cut Pro terms. I want to thank you guys for watching these little videos, and I want to wish you luck on the test. Just so you know, all your terms can be found on Schoology, and make sure that you study because it's going to be an important test. Thank you.